completely different. In your heart, you know he's right.
By the way, I understand that people at iHeartRadio are under a lot of pressure because they just laid off a lot of people, so they're having executives do on-air shifts. But Jesus Christ. So listening to the throwback hip-hop station in Tampa, and because they got rid of some of the DJs in other markets that were doing on-air shifts in Tampa, they still have Brian G., who works on the legendary Johnny's House, whatever his show's called, Johnny Magic, over in Orlando. But they have like these radio executives that are like, every talk break on iHeartRadio that's not a music morning show like I don't know, Woody Show or Breakfast Club or Rover or Bobby Bones or Elvis Duran, one of those. You know, so I excluded the Joe Show. Well, they have all the 5-second DJs, as I like to call them, talking for a minute about how great the iHeartRadio app is. And they have no enthusiasm and nothing. And it's like you're like listening at the red light, and they talk about like PPM and people's attention span, and that like they need to make the morning shows talks shorter because people don't have the attention span. But then it's like a minute and a half of, well, the iHeartRadio app is great because we got the talkback feature. And then we have this feature right here. And then we have a concert that we do. And then we lay everybody off and then wonder why no one listens. Jesus Christ. But you know what's even worse? It's like when you're like, you know, listening to a podcast, usually it's the ones that are done by people that are a little more lackadaisical. And what I mean by it is you're listening to like let's say a podcast of like a morning radio show in LA. And when you're editing a podcast, because I've done this with MJ, you have to put in commercial breaks. So there's a little sweeper MJ has where it's like, this is the MJ morning show. And then the music goes, then it's like, welcome back to the MJ morning show. And then when you're uploading it, right where that is in the audio, it's like a little line, because like the audio files are like little waves. That's why they're called waves. And you put like a little dash in it on the software, and that's where you put your like 2 minutes of commercials. I'm convinced these overworked producers will be doing editing the podcasting because they have to put up like 9 if they work for Odyssey, that all of a sudden you'll be talking and
what? You're celebrating the new year? Grand Poobah, you're still celebrating? Oh, with incredible deals on every new 06 and 07 Mitsubishi, including the all-new 07 Outlander. That's outselling, outpricing, outseating, out everything the competition. Plus there's 0% financing on new 06 and 07 Mitsubishis, or cashback from $1,000 to $6,000 to qualified buyers. That is something to toot your horn about. Max Madsen, you might be mad in bad, but you're not crazy.
He's bad, but you'll be glad when you meet Max Madsen. He's mad, he's bad, Max Madsen.
Max Madsen Mitsubishi in Downers Grove, Countryside, and Aurora. Shop online at maxmadsen.com. Mitsubishi Motors, driven to thrill.
And then in the middle of the conversation, it's like you go back to it. So if you skip forward and you skip too many 15 seconds, then you miss what they're saying. And it drives you absolutely nuts as a podcast listener. But it's like you're listening to something and all of a sudden you're getting rudely interrupted. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you're talking and you get interrupted. It drives you nuts. You just want to hear Craig Carden do his sports talk. And then all of a sudden, you're just talking.
Introducing McDonald's Double Filet-O-Fish Sandwich. For a limited time, you can get 2 golden fish patties with tartar sauce and cheese on a steamed bun for just $2.49. Major credit and debit cards accepted. Limited time offer. Prices and participation may vary.
I'm what you call a night owl. I hit a club at 10 with my roommate John. I see Camille. We go to another club where Camille and I ditch John. Then head to McDonald's. Because McDonald's is open till midnight or later, which keeps me going long enough to say goodnight to Camille. And hello to Gloria. McDonald's. Open till midnight or later at participating McDonald's.
And the best part is 5 minutes later, they're in the middle of talking about the Knicks, and then all of a sudden, You know what I mean?
If you've ever wanted to design your own ring, there's only one place to go.
That's Jared.
At Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, it's easy to create a ring that's yours and yours alone. First, choose from hundreds of beautiful settings. Then select from thousands of loose diamonds, including the spectacular Leo Artisan Diamond, independently certified to be visibly brighter and available exclusively at Jared.
It can only be Jared.
Find a Jared store or shop anytime at jared.com.
I know that was annoying, but that's how it sounds when you listen to podcasts that are produced by like iHeart or Odyssey. And I also feel like playing some of my favorite radio jingles. What are you doing? I know we're all underpaid in radio unless we're one of the big time or Gen Xers. But have a little credibility. Those are my favorite radio commercials because I'm a radio nerd. Can you guess the sound right here? That's annoying. Do you know what that is? That is something that is known as the vuvuzelas. I have not been watching a second of this World Cup. I'm not really into sports where there's not a definite winner. Oh, 1-0, 1-1, 0-0. How riveting. No, thank you. But I will tell you, whenever I hear this, I think of 2010 of watching Landon Donovan with my grandpa. The last 4 months he was alive. Today's probably going to be a shorter show. There's not as much to talk about. But last night, it felt very much like I was in 1996. Why? You know when you watch like 1 or 2 videos on YouTube and then your whole algorithm shows my algorithm, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, was this thing that happened that was known as I was watching Michael Jordan videos, balling out, doing his thing, and then all of a sudden I'm getting like requests on YouTube to watch like full games with I don't know, Michael Jordan versus the Suns, Michael Jordan versus the Lakers, and I put them on. It's almost like AMSR because you know they're gonna win. And then I listened to yesterday's Howard Stern show, and I'm like, I'm literally living in 1997.
Happy hour.
Time for Hoppe in the morning.
RyanHoppeRadio.com.
Happy hour will be right back.
Probably had Taco Bell before.
Whenever we're going outside, all I smell is poop.
And we'll call it a day.
The semen was so big. As a reminder.
Don't worry, Fresno. Happy Hour will be right back.